Morning, sir.
Very good morning, Ji. Yeah. So I think now sufficient students are there in the class. So let me take the attendance first. Gautam Godra, Kartikeyan Sharma, Kushi Shekhawat,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rakesh Raika, Ravi Raman, Shaurya
Present,
Dikshit,
sir.
Tirthak. So these are there in the class now.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm going to start the class. So as usual, we will have the discussion of the remaining part of our contract act, and then afterwards we will start for our uh, for the session of the day, means the question answers. So I do not have much questions, but I would like to ask you if you have any question to ask me. So if you want, you can ask me any question if you want. So if you have to clarify anything, you can clarify, because tomorrow is your quiz. Okay, and there will be 4 quiz planned. Okay, so 4 quizzes will be there, 10 marks each, and accordingly you have to appear for the quiz. Okay, and then afterwards what we will do is uh, means the evaluation and all will happen, and then we will discuss certain things in the class also. Okay, so that will be the modus operandi of the quiz which we will be doing tomorrow. So you are having an opportunity to ask me anything you want to ask today itself in the class, and even if you want me to ask something afterwards, means regarding the course, not about the quiz and all that. Quiz, you know very well how the questions will be asked. There will be some multiple choice questions, and mostly I will try the quiz to be the case based ones, so that you will be able to understand it and do it in a better way. So it will be mostly the case based ones. Situation will be given, like you have been solving certain situations, that what will happen in this case, or what will be the outcome in this case, who will be responsible, can the suit can be filed, or would the money will be recoverable. Okay, so accordingly the quiz will be asked. So it will be more logical, rather than means it will be more applied of the knowledge which you have gained during this period of time. So that will be the thing which we will be doing and proceeding further with. So any question if you want to ask, you can ask, and then afterwards I will just take some questions for this special contracts also. So let us just go to the presentation first, so that we can just revise what we have studied in the in the recent past regarding the special contracts. Okay, fine. Hope it is visible to you. Is presentation visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So take you directly to that portion which we have to study today. So this is regarding some special type of contracts which we will be studying, and these contracts we start from, actually there are 5 types of special contracts which are in your syllabus and which we have to study. One is this which is called bailment and pledge. Okay, so indemnity and guarantee. Take just for a moment. So the first post contract is a contract of indemnity and guarantee. Next is a contract of bailment and pledge, and finally we will go through some provisions of the contract regarding the agency. So indemnity and guarantee, if we see what actually is indemnity. Indemnity is a contract of making good the loss which has been caused by the other party. Okay, so any loss which is to be made good is called is a contract of indemnity. A contract of indemnity, A contracts to indemnify A against the consequence of any proceedings which C may be taking against B in respect of certain sum of rupees 300. So this is the contract of indemnity. So to the extent of rupees 300, A has contracted to indemnify B for any suit which C will file against B. So to the extent of 300, he will make good the loss. So this is the contract of indemnity. So contract of indemnity can be express or implied, and it can be inferred by the circumstances also, according to the if it is implied. So an act done by A at the request of B, something A is doing and B is requesting. So if A is incurring some losses, so it is implied that he will be able to recover it from B. So it is a implied contract of indemnity. Just an example. Okay. So a person who indemnifies is called indemnifier. A person who is to be indemnified is called is indemnity holder or indemnified. So in general sense, the contract of insurance is also example of the contract of indemnity. So indemnity holder in contract of insurance will be called policy holder. A person who is having the policy, who has paid the premium, who has purchased the policy. So in this is actually in this is an example in the English law. Contract of insurance is a contract of indemnity in the English law, but not in the Indian law. Okay, so in Indian law, if somebody else, because it is not an insurance, because you are not paying any premium, somebody is insuring for certain things for making good the loss, so that will be contract of indemnity. But nothing can be better than an example of insurance for the contract of indemnity as such. Okay, so in Indian contract act, this indemnity is restricted to such cases where the loss promised to be reimbursed is caused by conduct of the promisor or any other person. Okay, so promisor or any other person, if there is a loss from these people, then there will be a contract of indemnity in case of India. Further, there are certain rights and duties of the indemnity holder when what he should be, and these are given under section 125, and we have already studied this, so I will not touch upon these. The similar is a contract of guarantee. So in guarantee there are three people: surety, principal debtor, and creditor. See, guarantee is regarding it is not making good the loss. It is actually if somebody else will not give any payment to someone, then the guarantor will give. For example, the bank guarantee is taken. So in bank guarantee, what happens that the bank gives a guarantee that okay, if in case he will not be able to give the payment, we will give the payment, and this is actually required when we go for international transaction, or you can say when we are going for some international trade, and a trader who is sitting outside India wants some bank guarantee from the Indian bank that the person will be paying the payment in case if the payment is not being made by the person who has entered into the contract. So the person who gives the guarantee is called surety. A person who is taking the payment is called principal debtor, and from the creditor it is. So you can just understand it in this way: a debtor takes a credit from the creditor, and surety gives a guarantee to the creditor that if principal debtor will not pay, I will pay you the money. So there are three parties involved in it. So most important thing, the contract of indemnity and guarantee both the type of contracts are contingent contracts on happening of certain events. That is, if something will happen or not happen, then only this contract can be enforced. Okay, so there are certain examples also given. I hope you have understood what is a guarantee and what actually is there. So I gave you this assignment also, that you have to distinguish between indemnity and guarantee. And the assignment se yaad aaya, you have to submit all the assignment by the end of this week. I think date has been provided to you by your CR. Shaurya, have you given them the date up till when they have to give the
Yes,
final
sir.
assignment?
Yes, sir.
And please take the assignment in one file. Those who have already submitted the assignment before, they again need to give the assignment in one file. That is one PDF you will receive. Okay, only one PDF you will receive. Tell them to merge the PDFs, and using, there is one website called I Love PDF. With that, you can do anything with the PDFs. Okay, so you can merge the PDFs. You
So,
can
sir, all the
create
three assignments in one PDF.
all the submissions in one PDF you need to take.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and one more thing, you just mind the dates of the previous submissions, because on that basis we will be deciding who has submitted what. So there may be deduction of 1 marks for 1 day late late submission. So
Okay,
previously also I've announced then when the submissions were to be made. So I don't know to what extent your class has made the submissions and who has made the submissions. And one more thing, because there was a lot of chaos in the class regarding your change in sections and all that has happened. So what I do is, okay, so I will decide one thing. Those who will be finishing all the assignments till what date you have given, Shaurya?
20th Sunday.
20th. Till 20th 6 p.m. I suppose I have seen the message.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so whosoever will be able to give all the assignment by 20th 6 p.m. they will be given full marks irrespective of whatever they have done before, even if they have submitted late, wait, whatsoever. So this is one golden chance for all of you to get very good marks. You submit your assignments by 20th, and after that, whosoever submits the assignments, Shaurya, you have to see that they are submitting the assignments in you know means that you have to record the dates. So accordingly, we'll decide that 1 mark will be deducted for every one day late, or even
Sure,
if
sir.
1 second will be above. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the last time, it will not be considered as such. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
and in future we will get the assignments taken from this MS Teams only. So you have to
Okay,
scan the
sir.
assignment, upload it on MS Teams. Then if you are not able to upload on in the given time, the Teams will close off and you will not be able to do anything afterwards. So that I will do. So anyway, this was the assignment, but this is the distinction between uh, the indemnity and guarantee, and we have studied this also. First is there are two parties in case of indemnity, and there are three parties in case of guarantee. So in the contract of indemnity, liability of the indemnifier is primary, whereas in the contract of guarantee, the liability of surety becomes secondary, because in that case, indemnifier is equal to surety. So the indemnifier is the person who makes good the loss. Okay, so here the surety is making good the loss, but his liability is secondary. But the liability of indemnifier, which is as good as surety in case of guarantee, is equal. So indemnifier is having a primary, whereas the surety is a secondary one. So indemnifier need not necessarily act at the request of debtor, but the surety gives guarantee, and he requests only at the request of the principal debtor that you have to, that I will be needing money from you because your debtor is not. I mean to say, creditor is not able to receive. So the debtor has to approve to the surety that I need some help from you. Or even for the guarantee also, the principal debtor will approach the surety that you please give my guarantee. Okay. In case of guarantee, there is existing debt or a duty, performance of which the guarantee is to be given. But in case of indemnity, there is no such existing duty. Something will happen in the future on the basis of which the indemnification is to be done. Next is surety on the payment of debt. When the principal debtor has failed to pay, is entitled to proceed against the principal debtor. But in case of indemnifier cannot file. Indemnified cannot file a suit against the indemnifier for any recovery, or it is a primary contract, so there is no question of filing a suit in this case at all. Okay, so these are the differences. Next is your bailment and pledge. Actually, by default, your bailment is not in your syllabus, but without studying bailment, you cannot be able to study pledge. So intentionally, it has not been brought in your syllabus, because when pledge is to be studied, then pledge is a baby of bailment only. So you have to study bailment in order to have to study pledge. So bailment is nothing when you are actually handing over your goods to someone else for some processing, and there is a promise to get it back, then it is called bailment. It is in a very, very simple sense. For example, you have given your assignment for to your colleague, that you see that how I have done my assignment, you do it yourself in your own words and submit it to sir. So this is something which is called bailment. So he will submit either your assignment also to me, and he will do his work also on the basis of your assignment. So either bailer or bailee, both or both can be the beneficiary in such a case. But a person who is actually having the ownership of the goods and is delivering the goods is called bailer, whereas the other person who is not having the ownership but he is still receiving the goods, or to whom the goods is being delivered, they are called bailee. So bailee does his work on the goods and return it back to the bailor or disposes of the goods as per the direction of the bailor. Okay, so there are two types of bailment. One is called gratuitous bailment, which you do free of cost, like when A leaves his dog with the neighbor to be looked after in A's absence in the holiday. This is called gratuitous bailment. But in case of gratuitous bailment also, if the other person is taking some due care and incur some expenses, he is having all the rights to receive those expenses from the bail from the bailee. Bailee is having right to receive the expenses from the bailor. Okay, so it can be for benefit of anyone. Okay, either bailor or bailee. Okay, so bailment for reward, or you can say non-gratuitous bailment is something which you do for the mutual benefit of both. For example, you have deposited your car in for watching a movie. So that is a non-gratuitous bailment, because you are paying the rent for the parking, and the parking people will take care of your car, and then afterwards, when your purpose will be over, you will be taking your car back. So for you, the reward is for you, the service is that your car is kept in safe custody, and the other person is also getting something out of it. Okay, next is pledge. Pledge is something, keeping your goods to someone else as a security, for certain period of time, and after you have repaid him back, then that person will give you back your goods. So a person who pledges his goods is called pledgee, and the other person who receives the pledge, to whom the goods is deposited, is called the pawnee or pledgee. So pawner is a pledger who actually pledges his goods. Pawnee or pledgee is a person who receives the goods. Okay. Soon after, when the things are over, then the pledgee has to return the goods. So there are certain essential ingredients. So ingredients are: the property pledge should be delivered to the pawnee. So actually there is a physical delivery of the property. Delivery should be in pursuance of the contract, that it will be returned after the contract is executed, and it should be for a purpose of security, because it is, if the contract is not executed, then the pledgee or the pawnee is having rights over the goods to dispose it off in the way which is prescribed. Okay, so and delivery should be on condition to return. There has to be a condition that it will be returned after the contract is executed. There are certain rights and of the pawnee also. So most important right is against the property. So he can, if if the pawner is having, if pawner has given his property to the pawnee, then the pawnee is having a custody of that property. It is his duty to keep that property in his custody and take due care of the property which is being blessed to him. At the same time, if the pawner is not at all making payment, then he is having three remedies. That is, file a suit against him for the amount of recovery of the amount, suit for the sale of the goods, and sell himself after giving a reasonable notice. If the reasonable notice is not given, then the pledger will, because this is the rights of the pledger will arise if the this reasonable notice is not given, and if the pawner is not at all giving him goods back. So he is having the right, he can file suit for redemption of the goods by depositing the money, and he can ask for the damages on the ground of the conversion. Okay, so these two are the rights. So pledger, even normally the pledge is done by the owners of the goods. Those who own the goods, they can only pledge. But in certain circumstances, like if you are a mercantile agent, and if the seller is in the position of the buyer, and if pledged by a seller or buyer in position after the sale can be done. Okay, pledged by a pawner having a limited interest in it, or pledged by a co-owner of the position can also do the pledge. So pledged by a person under the voidable contract, he can also go for the pledge. So there are certain conditions when the pledge can happen even without you are having the ownership rights. Okay, next is your law of agency. So agent is a person who is employed to bring his principal into contractual relations. So whatsoever agent does, the principal will be held responsible for everything what agent is doing. So agency are mostly of two types. That is the agency which is you can say the express agency and the implied agency. Express agency is direct, it is totally express as such, whereas the implied agency can be agency by estoppel, wife as an agent, or you can say agency by necessity or agency by ratification. So agency by this express contract of agency is you can say power of attorney. One thing, okay, you are giving right in writing someone a power of attorney to execute certain things on your behalf. So that is something you are expressing, uh, and then you are that's executing. Implied agency may arise out of the conduct. So implied agency may be by conduct, that is by agency by estoppel. So estoppel, suppose somebody is selling your car in front of you and you are not saying anything. Then afterwards you will be stopped to you will be stopped to say that that person who has sold your car in your behalf in your absence is not your agent. Okay, so this is called agency by estoppel. Wife as an agent, normally wife is treated as an agent because whatsoever she does for the credit which she has taken for the necessities supplied to her, she will be treated as an agent, and the husband will be required to do whatever means he has to just make good all the expenses what his wife has done, provided it is for the necessities. Further, there can be some exception if the husband has told that the wife should not be allowed any credit, or if he has forbidden his wife for any credit, or otherwise if the wife is also supplied with certain goods which are necessities, and further if she is also provided with sufficient allowance, in that case wife will not be treated as an agent of the husband. In the case of necessity, there are certain, there's the implied agency when you are actually, you might have, we have discussed many times certain things. Okay, so for example, necessities you have supplied to some minor or so you actually have done it on his behalf. So either he himself or his state will be responsible to provide you the goods. Here, you can say there is one railway company case where the horse was loaded from one station to other, and nobody came to receive the horse on the other station. So the railway people, they took care of the horse, and after 2 days the person came to take the delivery, and the railway company asked for all the expenses which they have incurred in order to keep the horse in a alive position. So railway company has acted as an agent, and it is the principal is bound to make the payment to the agent or to anyone else on the behalf of whom or from whom the agent has taken the money, or you can say the supplies for taking care of the horse. Okay, so agency by ratification means a person who has already done something which is ultra vires, which is beyond the powers. So it is the same can be actually ratified or made good, that okay, whatever you have done is good. So that is called agency by ratification. So the ratification comes after the act has been done and the act was beyond the power. So the principal is actually ratifying that okay, whatsoever has been done with by the agent, I actually take the responsibility. So that is called agency by ratification. Okay. So there are certain classes of agent. There are special agents, there are general agents. So special agent is actually who is appointed to do a specified act. So after the completion of that specified act, the principal will not be held responsible. Okay. So in the case of general agent is whatsoever the agent will do, principal will be held responsible for each and everything. For example, you are sending your son. A person is sending his son for taking the grocery from the grocer. So every day it is going on. So whatever the person, that son is going to get the grocery from the grocer, so that son is an agent of the father, and father will has to make the payment of whatsoever has been brought by the son on their behalf. So it is called general agent. Sub agent is the agent of the agent, but in certain cases where the goodwill is employed, except that the sub agent cannot bind the main principal. He can only bind the agent who is actually acting as a principal for this sub agent. Next is mercantile agent. Mercantile agent is actually a person who actually sells or purchase the goods or consign the goods or make money or keep the security of the goods on the behalf of the principal. So whatsoever mercantile agent does within that scope, so he will be held responsible. The principal will be held responsible for all that. Factors they are also mercantile agent which are employed to sell the goods which have been placed in the position of the contract to buy goods for his principal. So he is actually doing a factoring work, or he is purchasing the thing, he is taking the custody at the name of the principal himself. Brokers are someone who do not, unlike factors, they do not have the position of the goods. They are just the person who actually are in search of some contract in which they can tell their principal to get into, and they charge some brokerage out of it. Creditor agents are the agent who also, besides selling the goods, also takes the guarantee for realization of the money from the traders. They are called del creditor agents. Auctioneers are also agents, and but the auctioneers at the same time are the agent from the point of view of not only from the principal but to the person to whom they have actually sold the goods. So it is on the behalf of them they actually sell the goods by the banging the hammer that the bid has happened. Okay, partners they actually bind each other, so there is a mutual partnership, or you can say mutual agency amongst all the partners. Bankers are your agents because they keep your money in their custody on your behalf. Your valuables also they keep on your behalf in the locker of the bank as such. So there are certain duties of the agents and there are certain rights of the agents also. So there are certain these duties we have studied in depth while we were doing your. So there are rights also, rights and duties we have gone. There are certain mode of termination of agency. So agency can be terminated by all these modes. So 10 modes are there. By performance means if the agent performs his act and so he gets his remuneration, it is terminated. It can be there can be principal there can be contract between the principal and the agent. So as soon as the agreement is finished, there can be termination of agency. Even for a if such agreement is for certain fixed period of time, after expiry of that fixed period, the agency will be terminated. By death of either principal or agent, the agency will be terminated. If someone either of them becomes insane or pagal ho jata hai, then also this will be terminated. Insolvency also will terminate the relationship because these all things will make the one of the persons incompetent. So there will be no furtherance in this case. So where the principal agent is incorporated company, by its dissolution, it will be terminated. So dissolution of a company is just like a death of a partner. So accordingly, it will be terminated on such dissolution. By destruction of subject matter for which the agency was to be done. Suppose agency was to be done for supplying 100 bales of cotton, which is coming from outside. So the ship never arrived. So there is no contact of agency. So the agency contact got terminated afterwards. By renunciation of authority by the agent, that he has actually, or revocation of authority by the principal. So he has actually revoked, or renunciation means he has exceeded that authority. So in this way also the agency can be terminated. So there are e-contract, how the electronic contracts happens and all that. It is regarding that because it involves the principles of your this Information Technology Act, that how it will be accepted and when it will be accepted accordingly. So this is all about we have studied till now in your Contract Act. So anyone, any question till now, if you want to ask? So I hope you are able to understand all the things till date. So I have some questions for you. So we'll share those questions with you. Okay. And would like you to answer those questions. Some of you can answer those questions, and accordingly we can, just decide upon that. How will you just take it up and how the things will go on? And if you have any questions regarding these questions also, you can ask me any question. Okay. So that is how we will be going with. So if you have any question, you can ask not only before today, but even for the before or any other things you would like to ask me. Please tell me. Nothing? Or should I ask you? Anyone? So you are allowing me to ask some questions to you? Shaurya?
Yes, sir.
Your class doesn't speak at all. What should I do?
Sir, I don't know.
Sorry? do not speak sometime? What?
So I don't.
Huh?
I don't know, sir, why they don't respond.
Guys, what happened? No question to anyone? You are okay with whatever I have taught you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then let me just ask you certain questions over here so that you can prepare yourself for tomorrow's test. Yes. So, Shaurya, first question to you. The bailment of goods as a security for the payment of debt is called lien, mortgage, hypothecation, or pledge.
Mortgage.
Bailment of goods as a security for payment. It's goods, not the property. I told you mortgage happens for the property. It is pledge. Sure.
But sir, lien is also the like form of security interest, na, granted like for property.
See, pledge happens for immovable property, whereas mortgage happens for movable property. I told you the difference while I was teaching this in the class. Remember or not? You
Not
don't
right,
remember, see my video.
but I will remember now.
Hmm?
I will remember now, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So you tell me the name of another person who will be able to answer the second question.
Khushi Shekhawat.
Khushi, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Khushi. So second question is there. Which of the following agents are treated as non-mercantile agents or those who are not mercantile agents? Factors, auctioneers, brokers, and insurance agents. Who are non-mercantile agent, and you have to tell me why.
So factors, I guess.
Factors are non-mercantile, but factors are those people who actually buy and sell the goods on the behalf of their principal. So when there is something related to goods, then the person will be a mercantile agent only. Anyone else? Khushi, you tell me name of someone else.
Sir, just 1 minute. Karthikeyan Sharma.
Karthikeyan.
Yes, sir.
Which of the following agents are treated as a non-mercantile agents and why?
So brokers.
Brokers are those people, those who are the mediators. They actually find a person with whom the contract of sale and purchase can happen, and they sale and purchase of goods or something can happen. Brokers are not always the brokers of immovable property. There are brokers
Okay,
for
sir.
tires also. They are brokers for you know, fruits also. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so not brokers. So tell me name of someone else who can answer this.
So is it? I'll try, sir, once again, sir.
No, you cannot try now further. So Hemant Kumar Khatik. Hemant, are you there, Hemant? Hemant. Sure, mark him absent and post it on the group.
Okay,
Manan
sir.
Goyal.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Manan.
Yes, sir.
So, question number 2. Which of the following agents are treated as non-mercantile agents? Yes, Banan.
Yes, sir.
Banan, you are answering, or should I ask it to someone else?
Uh, sir.
Okay, from the class, raise your hands, any one of you who would like to answer this, along with the reason why. Raise your hand. Drishti Verma. Drishti Verma. Yes, Drishti. Who amongst these people, factors, auctioneer, broker, and insurance agents, are non-mercantile agent? Drishti Verma, where are you? Sorry, mark her absent.
Okay, sir.
Matang Sharma. Matang.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Matang. Who will be a non-mercantile agent amongst factors, auctioneer, broker, and insurance agents? And why?
The insurance agent,
Why?
that I don't know, sir.
Very simple, Matang. Factors, auctioneers, and brokers, they all deal in goods. Whereas insurance agent deal in insurances.
Yes,
Insurance
sir.
is not a goods. It is a
Yes, sir.
service. Okay. So factors are those people who on the behalf of their principal keep the money also, keep the goods with them in their custody. Auctioneer are those who auction the goods on behalf of the principal. Broker are those people, those who are means they are mediators. They do not have though the option the possession of the goods, but they keep on finding those people with whom the contract of sale and purchase can happen on the behalf of the principal. It is only the insurance agent which is selling the insurance on the behalf of the company, and insurance is not good. That's why non-mercantile agents will include only insurance, not others. Okay, and we have discussed about these all type of people in our notes. Okay, but I don't know why your class is not able to answer. Anyways,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Drishti Verma is saying that her mic is not working. She even wrote it on the chat box.
So okay, no problem. She will. No, she has given the answer in the chat box or what?
She's saying that she know the answer, but you can.
No, she should have. When chat box she can write, I know the answer. She should have written the answer in the chat box. Anyways, so mark her present. No problem. No, don't just put her absence in the class. Okay.
Okay.
So actually, it's a question of absence. So no problem. So Nandini Khandelwal, you there or not? Nandini?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In which of the following cases agency is terminated other than by operation of law?
Yes, sir.
Question number 3, Nandini, you have to tell me. In which of the following cases an agency is terminated other than by operation of law? On performance of contract, mutual agreement, on insolvency of the principal, on destruction of the subject matter. Other than operation of law.
Sir, A.
So the correct answer is B, by mutual agreement. Okay. On performance itself is the means, yeah, you can say A also. It can be A also. A and B both are correct, equally correct. Fine.
Okay.
Prakash Chaudhary.
Thank
Yes, sir.
Next question number 4. The right of a person to retain the possession of some goods belonging to another until the debt or a claim of a person in the possession is satisfied is known as bailment, pledge, hypothecation, or lien.
No idea, sir.
Bailment, pledge, hypothecation, or lien. What? बोलो भाई. Come on. Right of a person to retain the goods with him. उसके पास में माल रहता है कब तक? जब तक कि अगला उसका पेमेंट नहीं कर दे. माल एज अ सिक्योरिटी रह रहा है. Or anything which can be, you know, what it is. If you will not answer, I will mark you absent, Prakash Chaudhary. और ये बच्चे की फोटो क्या लगा रखी है इसमें? हैं? तुम्हारी शादी हो गई क्या?
नहीं सर.
तो फिर भतीजा है तुम्हारा ये?
नहीं.
फिर चलो तुम जो भी हो खैर ये बताओ तुम तो. It is what it is. It is called pledge. अभी तो बताया था. It is pledge. चलो anyways. राहुल जवरिया.
Yes, sir.
Next question for you. 5.
Yes, sir.
Who enjoys the right of subrogation in contract of indemnity? Debtor, principal debtor, indemnifier, indemnified.
Sir, I think creditors.
Huh? Yes, creditor.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Next is a
Sandeep.
general insurance is a voidable contract, wager, contract of guarantee, or indemnity. General insurance, normal insurance. So this question goes to Rohan Pingle. Rohan Pingle. Ravi Raman.
Yes, sir.
बताओ.
Sir, voidable contract.
Who enjoys the right of subrogation? Okay, ये तो हो गया. Sorry. General insurance is a contract of voidable contract. Is a voidable contract, wager, contract of guarantee, or indemnity. What?
Sir, first one, sir. A.
Voidable contract. General insurance voidable है. It's a contract of indemnity, dear, to make good the loss of someone. बताया था मैंने. राकेश रायका.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, next question for you. Which of the following is not a contract of bailment? Lease, money deposited in bank, acceptance of articles by post as a VPP, or acceptance of goods by a transport company? बताओ.
Sir, lease, sir. A.
Very good. Lease. Because in all these things, something is given in order to take it back, except in case of lease. Very good. Yes. Soumya Deepa. Soumya Deepa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Question number
Yes,
8.
sir.
If the goods of the bailer gets mixed up with the like goods of the bailee, by the act of an unauthorized third party, the cost of separation will be borne by whom? Bailor, bailee, third party, or bailor and bailee in proportion of their share?
Sir, Bella Bailey in a proportion of share.
Why? I am a bailor.
No,
I have given my goods to bailee. Now it is his duty to take care of it, na? Why I will
sir,
bear the separation cost? I am a bailor.
sir, then the third party should be
Why third party will
responsible.
give? It is not a duty of third party. Third party is in, it's an act of third party has been there, but who is responsible? As a bailor, whom I will file suit? I do not know the third party. I know only bailee, and my goods are being mixed.
Okay.
It will be bailee only who has to do it.
Okay, sir.
And yeah, what he can do is he can tell third party, because third party is in contact with bailee. So he can tell third party, you separate it and now you give it back to me, because bailee is responsible to bailor for it. So separation cost may be borne by third party, but the bailee is responsible for it. So for principal responsibility of bailee, now he can recover it from third party or whomsoever, it totally depends. Getting or not
Okay,
getting?
sir. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry.
In seventh question, why not option B, money deposited in a bank account?
Which one?
Seventh.
The money deposited in the bank account, bank is holding your money on behalf of you. So it is a bailment.
Okay.
I've asked what is not a contract of bailment.
Okay.
So when you need the money back, your bank pays you off, no?
Yeah.
It is actually possessing the money on your behalf. It's a contract of bailment. Okay. For example, even not only money, if you deposit your valuables in the bank, in the locker, so with whom it is kept? It is kept with bank, na?
Yes,
Then
sir.
after, when you need it, you get it back.
Got it, sir.
Okay, very good. So next question to Tirthak Bhai. Tirthak Bhai.
Yes, sir.
કેમ છો તીર્થક ભાઈ?
મજામાં છી.
વાહ. So 9 question का आंसर दो ने. In case of pledge, the pawnee can retain the goods until the debt is paid, can retain the goods for payment of the interest due on debt, cannot retain the goods for necessary expenses incurred in respect of the goods pledge, both A and B above.
Can return, sir. Option B.
Option
B.
B, can retain the goods for payment of interest due and on debt.
Yes,
केवल
sir.
interest.
Sorry, sir.
पूरा डेट भी तो बहुत एन भी होएगा ना.
हाँ, yes, sir.
क्या तीर्थक भाई, ब्याज लोगे, मूल छोड़ दोगे क्या? ऐसे धंधा कैसे चलेगा?
Yes, sir.
धंधो वांधो थी क्यों?
नहीं वांधो आवे, sir.
नहीं वांधो आवे
ना.
चल, तो फिर ए एंड बी दोनों होगा बेटा.
Yes, sir.
वेरी गुड. थोड़ी गुजराती मेरे को भी सिखा दो यार.
ठीक है, sir.
वेरी गुड लैंग्वेज, आई लव दैट. पंजाबी तो है ही एक है.
Okay, sir.
कार्तिक राजपूत.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the last question to you, my dear. Can you see the last question?
Yes, sir.
The liability of the hotel keeper in respect of goods belonging to a guest is that of a pawnee, surety, bailee, or acceptor. Liability of hotel keeper in respect of goods belonging to guest. Pawnee, surety, bailee, or acceptor.
Sir, A.
क्या?
Sir, pawnee.
अरे भाई, he is a bailee यार. He is not a surety. He has not given any guarantee to anyone. Neither the customer has not pledged the goods. तो pawnee भी नहीं होगा. Acceptor तो वो है ही एक है, but acceptor is no person at all in this contract act. He is an acceptor because he has accepted the contract, but from the point of view of this particular transaction, he is a bailee and he has to return the goods back to him. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So guys, hope you have understood this and hope you will do well in your paper also. Okay, so let me take the attendance and we will depart for the day. Okay, fine. So Drishti Verma,
So she's present, but her mic is not working.
yeah, you told me. So Drishti is there, Harshit,
Yes, sir.
Hemant Kumar, Kartik Rajput, Kartikeyan Sharma, Khushi Shekhawat,
Present,
Madan
sir.
Goyal, Matan
Yes, sir.
Sharma, Nandini
Yes,
Khandelwal,
sir.
Prakash Chaudhary, Puneet Yadav,
Present, sir.
Pushpendra Singh, Rahul Javaria,
Present,
Ravi Raman,
Present, sir.
Rohan Pingle,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
संदीप सिंह भाटी, शौर्य दीक्षित, सौम्य दीपा
Present, sir.
साहा, तीर्थक भाई फुलतरिया।
Present, sir.
अरे ये
Sir, you didn't take out
ये
my name.
Yes, sir.
क्या नाम है इसका, ये सॉरी, ये रोहन पिंगले, ये आ ही नहीं रहा है क्या, खाली वो ऑन करके एंड ही
So he's present. He also wrote something in the chat box. He wrote the option D.
ओके फाइन, ठीक
Sir,
है.
how many questions will be there tomorrow?
There will be 4 quizzes of 10 question each.
4 quizzes of 10 in 45 minutes.
Probably in 40, one after another the things will start, so you cannot afford to delay a quiz.
Okay, sir.
एक क्विज स्टार्ट होगा, एक खत्म होगा, दूसरा स्टार्ट हो जाएगा, तो आपको ज्यादा टाइम नहीं मिलेगा उसको एंटर करने के लिए.
Okay, sir.
I will give you 10 minutes, sharp 10 minutes, and the next quiz will start.
Okay, sir.
So in 40 minutes you have to close all.
Okay, sir.
So it is not like that you do not have a choice of doing the first or second. You have to do it in sequence in which it is provided.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine, my dear. So have a nice day to all of you, because you have then another complete day to just be with your teachers, your friends. Okay, so enjoy your day. Thank you, take care, goodbye, and be safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.